Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the MVC Razor helper method for the Infosys mask editor control and use them in your ASP.NETMVC applications. What I have in front of me is a new MVC project in Visual Studio 2010, and I have pre-configured the project to include the necessary JavaScript and CSS files in our views. If you're interested in learning how to configure your projects to use Infosys MVC controls, then there's another video on that. But in this video, we're going to dive directly into using the MVC mask editor control and pull in some values and display them as mask and take input from the user. So just got to give you a background of what I have set up. In the model, I have a person class, and in the person class, I have some simple properties: first name, last name, age, join date, salary, and phone. In this particular example, we'll take the phone number, which is just a 10-digit long input, and convert that into and display that into a mask editor using some literals and formats. So we're going to come down to our controller, in our home controller, and in our index page, which is actually the first page that gets loaded whenever you run an MVC application. We are going to create a new person object, set some properties on it: first name, last name, age, join date, salary, and phone number. And just keep an eye on the phone number. This is just a 10-digit numeric field, and we pass this person object into our view so that when our index page comes up, it has information of the person object. So what we're going to do in our example is we're going to take this phone number as just simple 10-digit field and mask it and display it into a mask editor, and make sure that if the user wants to modify this field, they still are entering the right digits for the input. So let's come to our view and write some code. In the index.cs HTML, I'm using the Infosys.web.mvc, which gives us the ability to have IntelliSense as you're writing our helper. So I can come down here and I can say add open parentheses HTML.inflogistics.maskEditor. So just by doing that, I have now created a mask editor control, and now I can just go in and enter some settings to it. So we're going to get into the phone number in a little bit, which kind of show you an idea of how you can use these Razor syntax to create a mask editor control. We're going to just create a standard social security number input editor control. So I'm going to say null text, which is the text displayed when there is no value in the input area. I'm going to display enter SSN number. Then we're going to set it to be required to true, and we're going to set the validator options on this guy. We're going to say VO, and anytime there's a blur, so it fires off our validation. So it's required, and it is valid every time the focus is lost from the input field. Set that to true, close parentheses, and then we can just say render this control, which is required by the MVC helper, and close our Razor syntax. Now we also are missing the main important property here, which is the input mask. So let me put that in. Input mask for the SSN would be 3 digits, a dash, 2 digits, and 4 digits following that, so that we get a right social security number value from the end user. Now we need to pull that phone number into our another mask editor, which is going to be our phone input field. So let's bring in the model definition here. So we can say model to be the MVC, jQuery videos, models, and phone person. And in here we can start up a new helper, Inflogistics.maskEditor4. Now in this case, you'll see that I'm going to use the mask editor 4, and this is available for all the different input types, and very standard for MVC to when you're dealing directly with model data. to use the editor or a list control that ties in with either the list or a property set defined in your model. So you're going to say HTML.InfoGistics and MaskEditor 4, and here I'm going to say model is my model.phone. So now this MaskEditor is going to be connected to the person class that we've passed in here and use the phone to display. And you can see it's a long type. So you can come down here and say .data mode, which is actually going to define what sort of what's actually stored in the property. So if the property contains the literals and prompt text, then you can select that the data is raw text with all the prompts for what we're going to use in the mask. But if it's just raw data, which in our case it is, it's just 10-digit, but we're going to mask it, we're going to make it look nice, we're going to format it. So we're going to set the data mode to be raw text so that the mask editor is aware that all it's getting is just the data, no literals from the source. And we're also going to set the input mask so that we can format our phone number the way we want. So open parentheses, 3 digits, close parentheses, a space, 3 more digits, and followed by a dash and 4 more digits. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and render this. So just gotta go back in here. We specified a mask editor, which is just a standard, not connected to any of our model data. We are using it for a social security number. We're setting up a mask, and we're setting up some validation options that are required property on it. And in the other case here, we're using a phone field directly from our model data, and we're setting up an input mask on it, and also setting the data mode to be just simple raw text, which is what's coming from our model. So let's just run this view. So here you can see that the first input box comes in. Both the input boxes are here, and the first one says enter SSN number, which is our null text. And if I click here to enter some text, you can see that there are prompt text giving me the mask. I can come here and start typing in my mask, and the editor option opens up with validation saying all the fields are required. So once I enter all the fields, that message goes away. And the right hand side, you see that it basically is giving us the phone number that is coming directly from a model data. So it's going through that. It's a raw data. It's coming through, and we have set up an input mask, so it's formatting the phone number the way we want it. So again, as you saw in this video, just by using Razor helper methods, you can instantiate a completely new mask editor control, which is not connected to model data at all. Or you can use the editor 4 extension method and connect the mask editor to your model data. Thanks for watching the video.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.